My recollection of my hospital time was initially A&E, where I was unaware really what they were doing. I was unaware why I was there, except for the fact that I was feeling particularly unwell. The next thing I knew, I was in an intensive care ward 8 days later. I can't exactly tell you when or how it occurred. I did get wind of a service called Hospital at Home. This I understood not a lot about, except for the fact that I would be going home earlier, but be given the same treatment, be given the same care, be looked after by essentially the same senior people as I was in the hospital, but I would be in the confines of my own home. Coming home that first day, I must say I was a little dubious. I was a little concerned that the immediate care available within the hospital would not be the case at home. Fortunately, there was no immediate care needed other than medication and rest, which of course there was a lot of. But the first visit by the Hospital at Home team put myself and Alison completely at rest, in that we were told anything we needed they would organise for us. They were clear, they were concise, they were understandable. They knew most certainly what they were doing, and most certainly what they were doing for us. So from day one, it got easier, much easier on a daily basis.
Yes, I do agree with Steve. The day before he came home and the night, I was concerned, how are we going to cope? How am I going to cope with Steve not being very mobile? But as soon as he came home, the team just put both our minds at ease. Just went through everything with us, and as they said, we're at the end of the phone, just ring if there's any concerns we've got, and ever since then we've just flown along with them.
The great thing about it was that we at no time felt that we were alone. There was always a backup, and a strong backup to boot, from the girls who answered the phone, who knew us before we really knew ourselves in that situation. We felt comfortable being looked after by the Hospital at Home team, and it's gone from good to being better the weeks that we've been with them. The comfort of obviously being in an environment that I love, being with the person I love on a 24/7 basis, not discarding Dennis either, bless him, down there. Food, I'm not knocking the hospital system, but I have to say that I've eaten better. Sleeping at night, much better. The whole gambit of emotion of being comfortable starts when you come home after being in hospital. That's how I felt. One benefit, of course, of being in hospital, and I fully understand this, is that you're on top of all the necessary equipment and functions and services that the hospital offers. And I felt that going in and out of hospital from our home position, having been put under the Hospital at Home scheme, was going to be difficult and tiresome. It didn't necessarily turn out that way. Before I was able to get in the car, which I now can, so Alison takes me in and we manage it quite happily. The team from Hospitals at Home came on time with the right sort of vehicle, with the wheelchair that I needed, got me from home into the vehicle to the hospital and stayed with me while I was at the hospital, which is very important. Guided me through, took me where I needed to go, put me back in the vehicle, brought me home, said goodbye, and the day was over. The service was excellent. You'll notice on my right arm have an IV, the PICC line. This actually enabled me to come home because with the IV that I carry and the 24-hour loading that it has, it is a service that I keep attached at all times. Without that, I would probably still be in hospital. This has been several weeks now since I've had this connected, and the boys and girls have been coming out and doing their bits with the changeover of the bottles and so on. But it's now got to the point where Ali, bless her cotton socks, is able to do it herself, so that we don't have the resources charged out to us every day. Expense saved, obviously. Budgets are budgets after all. I'm quite happy with the fact that Alison does it properly. In fact, I probably know as much about it as Alison does anyway, and I do watch the air bubbles, do I not? I do.
All the time.
My mobility, limited it was, I have to say, very limited. Alison was doing most things for me. Simple things like getting my feet up onto the bed at night, I could not do that. Having got them up with Alison's help, getting them off the bed in the morning, I could not do that. But great changes have happened with the help from the Hospital at Home team, the therapy I've been given, the physio girls and boys who have come out and put me right, and the fact that I've been fairly religiously working on what they've told me, and the fact they've been checking up on me as well, means that I hop into bed, I hop out of bed, I'm actively on crutches now, not a frame. I have tried walking with one crutch. I can certainly balance without crutches, just on my legs alone. In other words, we're getting there, and we're getting there with the help of these people who we owe a great debt of gratitude to. A long way to go, but we're making progress. The Hospital at Home team still come to us on a regular basis. It's not necessarily daily, because we do our own observations every morning, afternoon and evening, which we then phone through, or they phone us and pass over the information. They're there at all times, in the foreground or the background, basically whenever we need them. That for us gives us great confidence in the fact that we're not alone. We never have been, and as far as we can see for the future, we never will be. There will be a discharge time, we understand that, and I'm all for it, because that means I'm 100% better. But while we're in need of help from the good people of Hospital at Home, they do us very well indeed. To sum up my feelings about the Hospital at Home service, I think is a very, very simple thing to do. I have my own little hospital at home where I've managed to improve so much more than I ever would have done had I been in hospital. The RUH, as all other medical institutions around the country do fabulous work, but it's not for everybody at all times. There are other places for recuperation. In my case, it was home, and my experience has proved that a system such as the hospital at home experience works for me.